Welcome back to another fighter interview. It's your boy Brandon Halley. I'm here with Dylan Baker, a fighter out of Columbia, South Carolina, fighting out of Spartan Academy. He's going to be taking up an hour-and-a-half drive up to Greenville, South Carolina on November 16th for the Southeast Striking card. We're really excited, man. Dylan, how you doing, bro?
Doing good, doing good. I'm actually at the gym right now.
Yeah, man. Sorry, like I said, I was telling Dylan earlier, if you guys hear my dog barking in the background, I apologize. I'm in the garage. I just changed moving situations. So, like, figuring out the best place to record has been a challenge with a house full of people. So the garage is the best place for me right now. Yeah, I caught Dylan. Off guard a little bit. So yeah, he's getting a nice lift in. He looks like he's walking on a treadmill.
I
If
am.
you've
I am.
seen Dylan, you know he doesn't miss a strength and conditioning day. He's shredded like a fucking Greek god. So, um, hey, let's talk about your upcoming fight, November 16th. What do you know about your opponent? How do you feel? What's your mental feeling like going into this one?
Mentally, I'm in really good place. Dropped my last fight, kind of questionable, but it was a good fight. I mean, we both went out there and banged it out. Lost by split decision, but power to him. Game had a good full game plan against me. So mentally, I'm in a good place. Kind of revamped, we're ready to go, ready to end the year on a good note. Um, I know my opponent. He comes from really technical gym, so I'm looking for a really good technical fight. Um, that's all I really, truly, honestly know. I've seen some of his old fights on YouTube, but other than that, I just know kind of the gym space that he's coming from.
Yeah, man. What are some of the adjustments you're having to make? Of course, I was there in person for your last fight at Conflict, and it was I would say it was a controversial decision. It was very close. The judges gave it the other way. Judges saw that it felt like it went the other way that night. Sometimes it's gonna be like that, right? But
Yeah, absolutely,
what
and
are
power to him.
yeah, and so what are the adjustments you're making for this fight so that that doesn't happen again?
I think I just came out and I started a little too slow. I just kind of took a little bit of time to get into my groove. Once I got into the groove, I started feeling good, started flowing a little bit better. I think I just need to come out the gate um, and start off strong right off the rip. I can't with these 2 minute rounds, well, yeah, 2 minutes for 3 rounds. It isn't a lot of time. Whereas a 5 round fight, which I've fought several 5 round fights, you don't have that time to kind of adjust and read your opponent. You got to basically kind of go and get to it.
Yeah, man. So like this is, I mean, I don't even know how many fights you have at this point. You got a ton. You have
Seven.
a
This
ton
is
of
this would be number 17.
number 17. So you're almost at 20. That's a
Yes,
lot
sir.
of fights for an amateur. What's your plan looking like after this fight, man? Are you taking some time to reassess? You're pretty active this year too. So, what's like the next steps after this fight, man?
Um, Depending on how this fight goes, which I'm hoping once again it goes my way. Uh,
We just lost Dylan. Dylan? Oh,
Apologize.
you're
One of my
back.
coaches were calling me.
Oh, you're good. You're back.
But hopefully fight for a couple belts, maybe have an MMA fight or two, and then from there, kind of talk about going pro later on in the year. Just whatever my coach wants, and I would love to chase the amateur WBC belt. Um, that would be the ultimate goal for sure.
Look, so for the WBC belt for the amateurs, there's a lot of requirements. They have like six different requirements.
Hmm.
One of those include you have to hold at least two regional belts.
Yep.
So that's something that you're looking to do next. You're looking to challenge for that 154 belt and in our promotion soon. What are you looking like there?
Whatever is offered, man. I mean, I would love to challenge it for that belt, challenge for conflicts again, anybody really. I mean, I'm not scared to fight anybody.
I think the 54 division, 154, is starting to be really, really packed, like really packed and really stacked. So,
Yes, sir.
what's your thoughts on other guys in your weight class in this promotion or just like even across Southeast?
Say it one more time.
what's your opinion on the guys, like skill level? Are there like specific
Uh,
guys that you want to fight? Are there specific guys that you like not look up to, but that you think like you hold in high respect in the
uh,
Southeast?
just in Southeast and in the nation, there's a bunch of different guys. Angel Lopez, that he's won the Freedom title. He's I think only lost one fight. Killer at 154. Uh, Even Chase Brooks, when I don't think he's fought at 154 in a couple of fights. I was scheduled to fight him for the actual 154 belt at Southeast. That kind of fell through just for some personal and injuries. Uh, I hope he's doing well. Um, he's a great fighter. And there's some other guys in just the area that are just absolute killers. 154 is a tough weight class. Even the guy I'm fighting, Michael Cherry, he's become a big name. So yeah, I'm looking to challenge anybody and everybody.
Yeah, I have to ask you this question because I fought this guy 2 times, and he has been a thorn in my side, like my kryptonite for the last 2 fights. But Eden Mayney, he's the current 47 champ. After he does this fight, whether he gets a defense or not, he's going to be moving up to the 54. So, have you seen him fight? What do you think about him coming into the division? Also, we also have Taylor Rodriguez coming back now, so he's also in the
Yes,
54. So what are your
yes.
opinion on these guys? You fought Taylor before. What's your
Uh,
opinion on Taylor and Eden?
I've seen Eden. He actually fought one of my teammates, Logan. Logan's actually went to the military now. Great fighter, really technical. Comes with a lot of heart, a lot of just grit. So he's definitely a tough fight. At 54, I think he doesn't have to cut as much, from what I understand, which will be better for him, just strength wise, so that he's not having to drain himself. So I've got high respect for him. And then Taylor's my boy. Even though we went 5 rounds and beat the crap out of each other, that was a weird fight because we both were like, man, I really don't want to fight you, but we got to fight. So I'm sure that at some point down the road, it's a possibility where we'll have to duke it out again. And then in a moment, we'll fight each other. And then afterwards, we'll be friends after that. But they're both killers. Taylor especially, he's got a bunch of fights under his belt. Especially when I was off the fight, when I was a little bit younger in my career. He's I'm not gonna lie to you, he's a little intimidating to get that name call to fight. Um, but yeah, I feel like I can bang and hang in with the best of them. And I've fought on the world stage now. Fought French guys, New Zealand guys, a Canadian dude. So I've seen a lot of different looks. I feel like it's been a good thing.
Yeah, man. I wanted to pivot off to that before I want to leave off saying I think the 54 division is going to be one of the most hotly contested across Southeast striking, across K1 and Muay Thai. I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Yep.
I probably won't be going up to 54 anytime soon. I just gotta like drop this fat that I got because of the year of layoff now. But I think I'll continue fighting at 47. Maybe 54 in the future. But I'm really excited to be watching on the outside, and not having to fight Eden. That's a plus for me. So no, I think him and I both maybe we want to do one more to close off the trilogy. Just kind of say I wouldn't call that a rivalry because DC said the same thing. He said you can't call that a rivalry if the guy beat you 2 times. So
Yep.
I wouldn't say I'm his rival, but he's definitely someone I want to get a crack at one more time before I finish off my career. But anyways, that being said, you did go off to the WKA summer in Scotland. Talk to me about your experiences there, man. What did you take away from that? How was that? How was that like? Was that your first? No, that's not your first time out of the country. You've been to Thailand before, so what was Scotland like? Give me the deets.
Scotland was amazing. A little different environment. Everybody was super nice over there. Cutting weight over there was a little different. I lost a whole day of kind of weight cutting just from travel, so that was a little stressful at times. So when we finally got there, everybody kind of jumped on it, see where they're at, and started cutting weight, which was fun. We packed out this one gym. I feel bad for the people that were working there. It was a really nice gym. They had a wet sauna and a dry sauna. We were packed in there like sardines, and all these people that were trying to get in there, we were like, nah, we're full. So we started being a little mean to them, but they understood, and they came in and started talking to us, and we tried to get them to come out to the fights. That was actually my first tournament I've ever done. That was interesting, having to fight multiple fights on the same day. Was interesting, but it was a good experience, man. Just good seeing just different technical fighters, different ways people fight. And I wish I would have entered some other divisions. They had a boxing division that most of the guys that I fought were actually in that division. So I kind of was like, man, I probably feel like I could have went to the boxing division and went over there and did okay. But yeah, if I ever get the chance again, which hopefully I do, I'll definitely enter everything, get as many fights as I can over there and have a good time.
What was a big lesson you took away from that experience? I want to ask you a personal lesson that you took, not related to fighting, just something personal you discovered. And then I want to ask you about a more fight related, being an athlete. What did you take away from that experience?
Personally, I learned this is just from there and from my last fight, kind of a combination of the two. That um, my worst enemy is myself. I get really in my head sometimes about fights, and I think one thing coming out of this last fight um, is basically my mental has become a lot better, a lot stronger. With all my fights, I get better and better mentally, and I think this one's definitely set me over the top. Kind of like okay, like you're in this, Dylan. Like you can do this, kind of thing. Because just, I mean, everybody's gonna get nervous. I don't care who you are. If people say they don't get nervous before fights, they're lying to you. Um, but that nerves is what keeps you in it, keeps you on edge, keeps you locked in. Uh, so that's something that personally that I've learned. Like you can overcome anything if you really set your mind to it. And then fighting wise, I mean, kind of the same thing, but fighting wise, um, honestly, just trusting the training and the techniques that I have. A lot of times I'll not put everything together. I'll focus on, like, let's just say the hands or the kicks or the elbows or the clinch. Like whenever I'm able to put it all together with a complete package, um, stuff flows really well in it, and usually the fight goes well for me.
What was the style like across these different fighters? So you mentioned a French fighter, a New Zealand fighter, and a Canadian fighter. What were their styles like? Were they different from what you're used to? What do they prioritize more?
Um, so the New Zealand guy was really long and lanky. He tried to keep me at range, a little bit more of a long range boxing type of range. Um, the French guy was more of a in close, like boxing close, and then like basically kind of in the pocket kind of boxing, and then low kicks. Because I fought two different French guys. One was the in close boxing. The other guy was really good with low kicks, especially from returning off of your own kicks. And then the Canadian guy was a big overhand, right overhand guy. Very technical, will push forward a lot, really aggressive, but likes his overhands.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Coming back home from that experience, what were the reception like across your teammates? Um, favorite memory from that experience, like between you and your coach?
Uh, Coming back, everybody was just asking how it was, what did I learn, kind of just if I had fun, because that's the biggest thing. You gotta have fun in this. If you don't, I mean, why are you doing this? You gotta love what you're doing. And I always say that the day that I stop loving doing this is the day that I'll retire and stop. Um, so I don't see that happening anytime soon. Favorite memory being over there and kind of just in general, just making friends with just people from different gyms, different walks of life, kind of really hanging out with them, traveling, seeing Edinburgh, seeing Glasgow, kind of eating with them, conversating with them, hanging out with them, and just kind of just building that friendship up.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I would love an opportunity like that, tag along, just meet all these different guys across the country
Mhm.
and kind of get their story too. I mean, that's like a gold mine for me. Dude. I could make a podcast episode for every one of the fighters there. Just get to know them. So yeah. I guess I gotta talk to WK guys and be like, hey, let me tag along next year. I'll just be like the media
Heck
guy.
yeah,
I'll just cover for you guys and then post it on YouTube, whatever.
that'd
Cool,
be
man.
dope.
You know, you've been to Thailand before. Do you foresee yourself going to Thailand long term to train or to fight over there anytime soon?
I would love to. With work right now, it'd be kind of tough. Um, once I turn pro and get some fights under my belt, if it looking good for me in that realm of the pro fight scene, then yes, I'll probably move over there for an extended period of time and train and get some fights from over there under my belt, and then kind of go from there.
Dylan, what do you do?
I'm actually an athletic trainer at a high school.
I thought that's what you did because when I did interview for you for Conflict a little while ago, I saw you in the athletic training room. So that's cool,
Hmm.
man. So okay, so like you're in the athletic sports world all the time.
Yeah.
Um, let me talk to you. Let me ask you this: like, do you mentor? Do you give advice, like mentoring advice, to any of the students, athletes at the high school? Do they know that you're a fighter? What's your relationship like with them?
Definitely give a lot of mentoring advice, especially just kind of like because they know when my fights are coming up. I have it on a big calendar, and they just could constantly ask when's my next fight. My coaches ask when's my next fight. Several of them were there the other night at Conflict. They've been to other shows as well. But yeah, definitely there's a good mentoring role there. Just kind of like they're asking, how does it feel? What do you understand? Like, what do you see? What do you think of? Like, what, just like that mental aspect of it. Crazy thing is I was actually cutting weight on Thursday, and I had a kid that needed to talk to me about an injury that he had, and he called me. We were sitting there. I was dying in the sauna and sitting there trying to talk to him and everything. I'm like, man, if I just randomly hang up, it's because I'm in the sauna, man. I apologize. So they understand and they support me, and it's a good love there for sure.
That's so cool, man. So you help fix athletes, and then you go out there break fighters. Um,
Yeah.
such duality of the sports. I love it. I love seeing that. That's cool. I took an athletic training class when I was in high school too, and I just a newfound respect for those kind of people. So God bless you for doing the good work, keeping athletes together for their sports. Um, man, so you know now you're now you're 17 fights in. You're starting to have some new fighters in your gym. I know the fight team has shifted to a degree. Talk to me about something that you've been trying to mentor the younger fighters, of course, including Aiden. Of course, Aiden's starting to become a veteran of himself. Talk to me about something that you've been really trying to mentor. You and Charlie both have been mentoring for the new fighters in your gym.
The biggest thing is the mental aspect of it, especially if you've never been under the lights, did the walk. Um, I always tell them that whatever your gas tank you think it is, just cut it in half because once you get in there, the adrenaline's going. Everything drains a little bit faster than you think. The lights, they kind of get you, the noise. Um, just I kind of sit down with them like before fight week starts and kind of have this big Q&A, like what questions do you have? What do you not understand, or what do you have question marks about? And just kind of give them just my experiences and my scenarios that I've been in, and kind of my 2 cents in.
That's cool. That's awesome, man. Do you coach? Do you coach often? I mean, obviously, like you're mentoring and you're coaching some of these guys, but I'm talking like coaching classes.
Yeah, sometimes I mean, once, twice a week, sometimes, depending on if Coach Nate's there or not. Um, Me and Aiden kind of rotate that. A lot of times I'll take over if we're both there. Just seniority in that sense because I've been at Spartan a little bit longer. But I'll have him help me out, especially if it's more of a beginner class. We'll go over basics, that sort of thing. I mean, everything starts from the ground up.
Yeah, of course, man. As we start wrapping this up, I want to ask you, what is a message that you have for your fans, or even perhaps for your opponent?
For the fans, thank you for the love and support, and I hope you continue to support me. Um, I love to put on a good show, put on a good fight, and hopefully, to my opponent, we have a good, clean, technical fight. I'll be training hard. I'm training hard. Would love to have this good fight, man. No ill will.
Well said, man. Any last shout outs you want to give out before I let you go?
Shout out family, friend, girlfriend, um, Coach Nate, Spartan Academy, all my training partners. Shout out to everybody. Shout out my school for supporting me in that aspect. Um, sure, I think some coaches are going to come up and actually watch the fight in Greenville. So Yeah.
That being said, make sure you're there in person. November 16th in Greenville, South Carolina. We want to see you there live in person or live on pay-per-view. Don't miss it. We'll see you guys there. Thank you to our sponsors, Project Pantheon and Shipsco, for making this happen. Thank you for giving me a platform to interview awesome guys like Dylan. Thank you for giving awesome guys like Dylan a platform to showcase their talent. So we'll see you guys there November 16th. Thank you very much.